There's so many great things about the post-Olympic year and the opportunities that are out there, especially for the youngsters. And it's always a nice blend of veterans that are continuing to make the team and the youngsters like the Reagan Smiths and the Hannah Stevens and people that come in and make the team and get their first real big international experience. And so I'm really excited about the women's team and how it's shaped up. Well, Leah Smith has just absolutely stood out as a hammer this week. She's been phenomenal. 200 free, 400 free, 400 IM, 800 free. She's going to help on relays. I know she's swimming the mile later today. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch with her and Katie in a lot of those freestyle events. And she's on the women's side, certainly someone that stood out. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited for them. In 2013 here in India at World Trials, it was the first time Maya Dorado had made the main international team, and I remember that being such a huge deal for her, for us as a program at the time, and that reliving how she went from 13 to 14 to 15 to 16 and the success that she had in Rio. It's fun to kind of see where this team is and who's that next one that's kind of stepping into that mold. I think as college coaches we sort of live in that mold all the time of being in an environment where you take a group of people that while they're very similar in what they value, they're very different personalities, and you take them and you move through a season, and each season is very different in how we came together at Stanford this year was very different than how we came together in 2016. The team in 2016 came together probably very differently than the London team in 2012. And until you get out there and you sort of get a sense of what's going to be effective, but we'll rely a lot on our captains. We select captains pretty early, and we're actually trying to do that before we even leave for Croatia for the camp. I think that's going to be, I'm going to lean on our captains a lot because they've got a ton of experience. Some of them have been on more international trips than I have, so I think that's kind of neat. I think a lot of the team stuff happens separately. I think we do a lot of single gender stuff in terms of our meetings, but just being on the trip with them is going to be a really fun experience. We joke a lot, we make fun of each other a lot, and we've known each other for a long time, and so it's a sense of comfort knowing I know how Dave operates and he knows how I operate, and I think that really helps us kind of continue to move the team either together and then at times separately, but kind of knowing that the goal at the end of the meet is to win as many medals for Team USA as we can and to give as much experience as we can. It's very different, and I think that's where we have to be careful. I don't think our goal, at least my goal for the women's team, isn't to try and recreate the Rio experience, because I think that's what makes the Olympics so unique and so special. I also want to make sure that our youngsters get the full experience of being on the A team, the international A team, and not taking it. I don't want the veterans just to take it for granted, and I want to make sure that they give the youngsters that sort of full experience of what it's like to put on the American flag cap and how meaningful that is, regardless of what kind of meet it is. I think some of the other stuff just has a different feel. It's a shorter camp. Dave Turd and I, who we're very good friends, and obviously we coach together, and now we're coaching together on this trip. We were talking yesterday about, for some it's going to be a training camp, for some it's going to be a maintenance camp, for some it's going to be a resting camp, and just really trying to find how each individual on the team fits into that, and kind of get all the personalities together and just start to build towards Budapest. There isn't really anything that you can say that's going to make her feel better other than she had the swim of her life. And, she's been really nervous about long course swimming for the last couple of years, and she performed incredibly well in short course racing. And coming into this meet after not a great experience last year at trials, there was some anxiety, and she came out the first day and finished 4th in the 200 fly and won a best time by a second, and then had a really good swim in the prelim of the 200 free, and then came in on Thursday and obviously did what she did in the 400 IM and went I think 5 or 6 seconds faster than she did at trials last year, and nobody can take that swim away from her. That was still 4:36 any way you slice it, and so she's taken that with her, and all circumstances considered, I think she's held it together incredibly well.